Hey everyone, I'm Diana. I'm a three-time startup PM and I've now co-founded my own startup, and I follow a lot of B2B SaaS companies so that you don't have to.
Hey everyone, today I'm going to be talking about this product called Jam.dev. I discovered this because I was complaining on Twitter about how annoying it is as a product manager to file bugs, because a lot of times you see a bug, you're on a customer call, so you can't actually record what happened, and then you go back, you try to reproduce it, you can't reproduce it, and then the bug is just like sitting there for the next customer to discover, and then at that time you're on a call again with the customer and you can't reproduce it. So anyway, it's really difficult to create really good bug reports. In addition, it takes a lot of time actually to go in and write out the reproduction steps and like make sure you have all the information. And then there's a lot of back and forth between you and the engineer trying to explain exactly what you did. So it's a very painful process. So on Twitter, someone told me that I should check out this new product. So here I am checking out this new product. So Jam is still in beta according to their little logo, which I think is absolutely adorable. I love their website and their logo and their feel. It's just so wonderful. But what's really impressive is that they have this great list of logos of amazing companies that are using their product. I think a lot of times when you have a product like theirs that's really able to be adopted by a single user, you'll see that a lot of big companies will have just single users going in there and using the product and really allowing them to have this really great logo list. So that is the power of PLG. Side note, PLG stands for product-led growth, and it basically means when your product is one of the main channels that you're driving revenue off of. So in this case, their free Chrome extension is how they're driving revenue. Okay, so in a nutshell, Jam is kind of like what Loom would be for video recordings, except that Loom is for all video recordings, whereas Jam is just specifically for bug reports. So Jam basically makes it easy for you to capture the bug at the time it occurs, either by taking a screenshot, you can take a video recording, and they also have this really cool feature where you can actually snapshot the last 1 minute of activity that you just had so that you can play it back. And that's actually really useful because, like I said, a lot of times a bug happens and you just want that last minute of what exactly did you do, because sometimes you don't even remember what you did. So you're able to basically capture all the information around what caused that bug to happen. And Jam also adds additional information like the console logs, any errors that might have showed up in the network requests, device details, stuff like that, things that make it easier for a developer to debug the issue. The other really cool thing that Jam does is it allows you to like really quickly just add really small squigglies to show exactly what you're looking at, just make it easier to communicate what you've seen. And then it can integrate with all of the issue tracking tools that you have. We use Linear, so you can create a jam and then pass it into Linear and have that show up as a ticket. Anyway, so overall, I actually think this looks like a pretty useful tool that I would probably use all the time. So funnily enough, Jam, like every single other company in the world right now, is adding AI onto their product as well. So they're introducing this AI debugging assistant. And just from me skimming through it, it basically just looks like when you actually submit a bug, it will do some AI on top of it to figure out what are the possible reasons why something is broken, what are some of the areas that look like there might be errors, stuff like that, just to make it a little bit faster to kind of get jump started when you think about trying to fix a bug. All right, so when I was looking at this earlier, I was pretty convinced I was going to try it, and I even shared it with a coworker because I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to make it so much easier for us to file all of our bug reports. I would definitely suggest you watch this video that their co-founder created. It goes through what they do. It's really short, and it did convince me that I should try this. So I'm going to go ahead and try it. One thing that did worry me a little bit is I didn't really see exactly how you put in the repro steps, and this is something that's really important and critical to me because every time I file a ticket, the reason why engineers get annoyed with me is because I don't have specific steps on how they can repro it. So having that is really important. So we're just going to go ahead and try it. All right, so when I clicked add to Chrome, this is actually kind of scary. I get scared when like apps have really permissive permissions, and this just says read and change all your data on all websites. That's like a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and actually look at this private practices section just to make sure that everything looks okay. I mean, I'll be completely honest. I think the permissions are very permissive, and if I were them, I would maybe add a little bit more content on exactly what they're doing, where the data is stored. If they're tracking the last 1 minute, like where is that tracking of that video being stored? But we're going to try it and see how it works first, and I'll think about whether or not I want to keep it installed. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add it to Chrome. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue. Okay, so now I'm going to make my first jam. All right. can capture a screenshot, I can record a tab, I can record a desktop, instant replay. Oh, I can talk over it as well. Okay, let's try instant replay. So this basically captured the last 27 seconds of me mousing around and doing stuff. Okay, and now this is a link that I can share. I can add a comment. Let me see what this button says. Okay, let's go ahead and click create. Okay, so from here, you're gonna see what that jam looks like. So I'm gonna move my head over here and you can see how I can add comments. So I'm assuming here is probably where I would type in the repro steps, maybe like a summary about the bug. And then it shows the URL that I was at, my timestamp, the device, the console, the network, everything that happened there. And then it has GPT alpha, there we go. Oh, so it's actually an assistant. It's like an AI assistant. So let's have it analyze it. And actually nothing should come up here because I don't think there's anything wrong. Okay, interesting. So it's kind of like a chatbot that sits next to their actual full-on product. It could be useful. I think it might get better in the future. Let's try an insulting one. That's pretty good. So overall, I think this is pretty useful. I'm gonna have to use it a little bit more often just to see exactly what that workflow might look like, but I just love that you can get this instant replay, so you don't have to keep like redoing and reproing things. So I'm definitely gonna try this and see how it works out and see if the engineers like it.
So I know how hard it is to stay up to date with all of the SaaS products that are literally coming out every day. So I have a playlist that covers all the SaaS products that I find particularly interesting that you might find interesting as well. So if you think this is useful, hit the subscribe button.